I already made this video, yet again, it's a goddamn bloody having to be re-recorded one. I did a funny intro, and I said, oh hi, I'm Tom Jones, and here's what you may remember me from, and then I played a bunch of Tom Jones music. Which, you know, I use music sometimes because it's fun or funny or whatever, and then I'll upload a video and it'll go copyright notice, not a strike. It's all good, but just, you know, we know, we're listening, we see that you're using copyrighted material, and it's usually whatever. It's fine. It says, you know, you can use it. It's all right. But there have been times where it said, oh, but this particular music is blocked in certain territories. And I go, oh no, let me see where. And it's like maybe Russia or some far off land I've never heard of and can't pronounce the name of because I'm xenophobic and terrible. And usually that's like, it's whatever. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's all very fine. It's fine and it's all fine. But then I did video, this one, and then Tom Jones, and I upload it, and then it comes up, and it says, oh, copyrighted material, Ewan, careful, careful, blocked in some territories, Ewan, careful, careful. And I go, okay, let me see which weird, unknown, unpronounceable land it's blocked in. I click on the thing, it comes up a fucking wall of text of all of these countries where apparently Tom fucking Jones is banned, including the United Kingdom, New Zealand, Canada, Venezuela, Vietnam, a shitload of places I can't pronounce and never heard of, a shitload of places I can pronounce and have heard of. I think I didn't see the United States on there, so maybe that's like the only country it's okay to play Tom Jones music in on a video. And a large portion of my sort of followers and viewers are in the United States, but I'm not going to put out a whole podcast episode that can only be seen in the United States, although it would be a fun experiment. Not that fun, it wouldn't really be that interesting at all. But yeah, so that video would have been blocked basically everywhere just because I used seconds of some fucking Tom Jones goddamn songs. And so out of anger and frustration, I'm just gonna remake the entire video. I'm just start from scratch because fuck it, why not? Oh, but Ewan, I hear you cry, scream. What's that ominous black shape? Well, that's my penis. Oh, you mean this ominous black shape? Well, you may have been aware it was my birthday recently. It might still be my birthday continuously. It might go on and on for eons because I'm older than time itself. I am, in fact, an eldritch shithead. I'm not an eldritch god, you know. I don't claim to be on that level. I'm just an eldritch fucking turd boy, shit fart bumhead. This was a gift from my Sam. It's a pen. Ooh. But, so there was a sticker here and a sticker here with like barcodes and shit, and I got this one off more or less clean. I get this one off more or less clean, but then it tears the fucking... There's this whole... If you wrap it in plastic and then put the stickers on, or if you have to put the stickers on, put them on the underside at least, all this space that could have been stickerized. Instead, I got to fucking tear up the box of my nice new pen. Did you see I put on a photo on Instagram of my copy of The Horned God, the big edition, and one of the first pages is almost ripped in half, because I'm shit and useless at keeping everything neat and nice and clean. I own shit for 8 seconds and it gets fucking torn or dirtied or sullied in some kind of way. But this is my new pen from some. Look at that. Look at the presentation. Smoother Pro. I think that says Smoother Pro. We're not smoother amateurs. We're Smoother Pro. And it's like a bolt action like pen. See, because Sam is very technically minded. He's really like, computers are what he does literally for a living. He's in like tech support or something. Prior to that, he like designed on computers. He designed electrical systems, like blueprints for electrical systems to be put into buildings that were being built. He's got that kind of mind that I just don't fucking have. I draw willies and boobies and funny little goblins with willies and boobies. And my best friend Sam designs blueprints for electrical systems to go into buildings. How or why we're friends, I don't know. But he's also, because he likes mechanical things and like Lego and that sort of stuff, like Lego that does stuff, like Lego sets that are cars that you can like have actual motors and they move, and because obviously he's into that sort of shit. Part of that, I believe, is he likes guns. I don't think he likes them for, you know, the violent aspect of them, the sort of distaste I have of them. But he loves them as like mechanical things, and he enjoys guns. He probably likes them for the. He's a sadistic son of a gun. Guns. And he was showing me these sorts of pens online quite some time ago, and he was like, "Oh, there's these cool pens that have like a almost like a bolt action thing, because it's, you know, a very tactile sort of mechanical thing, like on guns with the." So he was showing me these pens, and I was like, "Oh, hey, that's really cool. I like the bolt action motion of clicking the nib out of your pen. That's quite neat." And then he gave me one for my birthday. That's cool, isn't it? And it is really nice. It uses like basically Parker refill nibs or whatever. I don't think the one that's in here currently is a ballpoint. I've used it a little bit, but it feels slightly more like a gel pen kind of. But it's really, really smooth, and the ink comes out like black straight away. Whereas, you know, if you use like this, the ink's a little bit fadey when you first use it, and I think that's just because it's like in transit and it's sitting there doing nothing, and then it takes a little bit to actually get the ink sort of moving and working around. Whereas this, obviously I'm about to write penis, because that's how you test a pen, isn't it? That's just how it works. That's what the system is. It's a nice pen. It writes good, so that's fun. You can write penis, you can write tit farts, ball asses, ball assess. Ball assess. Assess my balls, you cock knob. Oh, that works as well, because it's like knob with a K and then cock with, and they share the K. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Shit dick. That's a funny one. Poo bag. Entire bags of poo. All the fun you can have with a new pen. It's got really good weight to it. Like, you know, this is one of my favourite types of pens to use. I really do like drawing with these pens. But, you know, they're sort of flimsy, cheap, plastic, whatever. If I drop it, you know, if I drop this, you hear the difference in that. How heavy that is. It's got weight. It feels good. And that's a good. I was actually talking to a friend recently, a special friend with boobs, about nice pens, and I mentioned how, you know, when I worked in the shoe store, I had a nice pen. It should be. I'm surveying. Oh, there it is. I had this Parker pen. Because we were told when I started working there, you know, have a pen on you at all times. So if you need to write down notes of someone's order, or if they need to, like, a customer needs to sign a receipt or something, then you've got a pen on hand. And I was one of maybe like 3 people there that actually kept a pen, because dummy me, I thought, oh, best have a pen on me at all times. And I thought, well, if I'm going to have a pen, make it a fucking nice pen. So I went out and got a nice pen. It's not too extravagant. It's fairly plain. It was about £12, which, I mean, these are like fucking 60p or something. and that's brand name. You can get far cheaper pens available that do the job just fine. But I thought I'll have a nice bit with a clip so I can clip it on like my pocket so it's easily accessible whenever I fucking need it. And it has the benefit of whenever I hand it to someone, a customer or whatever, I go, oh, here's a pen. They go, oh, that's a very nice pen. It's nicely weighted. It's smooth. It writes well. Oh, it's still got ink in it. I thought it'd run out. And I say, oh, well, you know, it's sort of what I do. I'm like a pen guy. And then I had another one, and I lent it to one of the co-workers who I trusted. They were a really nice, decent person. And they lost it. The cunt lost my fucking pen. So I got another one. But it's nice to have like a nice pen, and it's got a nice click, a nice solid click. That's a really sort of satisfying. It's like a fidget toy, isn't it? And then there's pens like this which is less of a click, and it does feel like a more mechanical, because you can hear like the slide and the chunk of it, and that's good. This kind of pen, vagina. I wrote it with a J. Why did I write vagina with a J? That's just fucking silly. Who does that? Who writes vagina with? Well, that's because it's phonetical, isn't it? Dick. Oh, I've got to put at least 4 Ks. Dicks. See, I can't put 3 Ks, which it feels like 3 is a good amount to put if you're extending the word, if you're extending your dick. But you can't put KKK, can you? That's, you know, come on now. Come on. Come on, my vagina. Tit farts, ball asses, dicks. Ass, peen. Aspartame. That's a word that is irrelevant. This isn't the kind of pen I'd lend to people. This isn't the kind of pen I'd take anywhere. I think the weight of it is a little bit much to warrant being carried around, like in a pocket or something. It's a little bit too weighty for that. But it's a very nice pen. I can do that with it. That's cool, isn't it? But also, if I did lend this to someone and they lost it, especially because it was a gift, a very lovingly gifted gift from my best friend Sam, if I did lend it to someone and they lost it, I'd fucking kill them with a pen. I'd take a lesser pen and I'd do this and I'd shove it in their fucking throat. I'd fucking rip their stupid esophagus out with a pen. I'd fucking dig it in there, keep digging it in, and then fucking get it behind their fucking windpipe and then just yank it forward. Fucking get in there, fucking murder them. With a pen, no less. With a peen. That's... I haven't drawn with it yet. I actually have in the previously recorded video, but I'm recording this as if it's the first time, so I'm pretending I haven't, and therefore me drawing with it in this video will be like me practicing drawing with my new pen. Wow. So just go along with it, yeah? Go along with the bit and assume I haven't yet drawn with this pen. Even if it wasn't recorded, of course I would have drawn with the pen. You think I'm going to get a new pen and not sit and draw? Oh, come on, you flaming Homo sapiens. That's what I wish you were. I wish you were all on fire. I'm going to look at this book. Why? Because I fucking want to. Keeping in tone and theme of it being my birthday and me doing whatever the fuck I want to do, regardless of what you say. You slimy little wonderful lovely people. I care about you all so much. I'm so happy that you all like what I do enough to watch all my videos and shit. It genuinely means a lot to me and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. This is another book that, like, I've looked at it before on the podcast. I know, maybe even a couple of times. But it's on my stack, one of my stacks of books. I don't really look at it, and it's like it's a really good book. It's got some great art in it. It's Rock and Jellybean. He's a fantastic artist, and I just don't give it enough time. And I just wanna look at some like pictures of tits and so fucking those whatever those bits are called, the tendons or whatever, those fucking. If you're with a girl and you sort of rub your thumb like in this indentation a little bit, like not hard but with a bit of pressure, and you like do this, drives them wild. And then they wake up and they go, "Ah, why are you in my house? Get out! I'll phone the police." I like his monsters as well. He does good monsters. I've got a big one-eyed monster. My penis. I like those bits are good. That's all I'm doing is I'm just looking through this book and going, oh, look at that. Oh, look, we like tits. Oh, they're all spraying milk and all dripping. Oh, he's so good at volume. He's really, really good at volume. Is Mr. Rockin' Jellybean. I'd love to know his real name. I believe he's Japanese, so I'm sure I couldn't pronounce it. But fucking whatevs. I have read some of this book. It is the birth of Rockin' Jellybean, so it does have words and such about how he came to be who he is today. And it was stuff like this. I think he was in a band or sort of adjacent to a band or some bands, and being that he was artistically inclined, he drew the posters for the bands for their gigs and stuff. And then he'd go into, like, I guess, record stores or venues and stuff, and people would see on the wall loads of posters of bands, because bands put up posters to let people know they're playing in a place. And there'd be posters, and then they'd see his posters and they'd be like, yo, who the fuck drew that? Let's never go to that gig because the posters are shit. I'm kidding, obviously. That's what it would be like if I did band posters. They'd walk into the place and be like, whoa, check out this sick band poster. But the problem would be the band posters would never be up because people would keep taking them down to keep them for themselves because they like the art so much. That's why I don't do band posters, because it would be terrible for the band involved, because no one would know that they're going to be playing because people would take down the posters. That's cool. That's like, I guess, like a recreation of one of his posters. I could take that out and put it on my wall and then hide it whenever I have guests, lest they see a boob. Not that I ever have guests, and if I do, they're going to be people that are okay with seeing a boob, so that was a fucking worthless thing to say, really, wasn't it? Ah, that's good. The drippiness. It's when you're drawing drips, you just the little bit of shadow under the bottom bulbous part of it, and just a little trail. That's all it takes. But it's it's easy to get wrong as well. But you do it right, and you get all these drippy drips all over her. It's really good. Oh, she's puking there. That's kind of weirdly attractive. Funny little whatever. It's a big chunky book as well. I appreciate that it's not just like some small little book. That's like is it Ed Roth, Big Daddy Roth, who does all the hot rod stuff. I assume Rockin' Jellybean was very, very inspired by that kind of hot rod artist's art. All the monsters are cool. All the gals with big tits and wet asses. We like that. Oh, look at that. That's nice. Nice shape, nice lighting. Nice curves and bumps. Socks. I like socks on a gal. Look at that drippy wet ass, just like I was saying. Nice. Very nice. I like the shape of it as well, because in real life, butts aren't always just perfect, like, ovoids or fucking whatever. They've got, like, dips and peaks to them, and sometimes they are, like, a bit pointier almost. So that's a really good sort of representation of that, slightly stylized but still good. Good drawing. So that's. I look through this book and go, oh, that's his art's really good, isn't it? Yeah. I should have been looking at this book when I did here it is. I did this. Oh, that's good, isn't it? Oh, look how cool that is. It's like the hot rod thing. I mean, that's what the person asked for when they commissioned me to paint that. It was like a, hot rod, but it's the Green Goblin on his thing. I should have been looking at this to get ideas, but, I used Google Images. Plus, if I did, I probably would have stolen this engine. I'd have put that in the drawing. Maybe somewhere like these flames and shit. I'd have been like, oh yeah, that's cool. Let me put that in the piece. And then, apart from the Green Goblin, the rest of it would have just been stolen, because that's what I do. I just steal shit. I don't have my own ideas. That's a lie, obviously. But the premise stands, or something. I don't know. That's cool. I like that. Oh, take some laser milk, you shit. Attack of the 500-foot gigantic boobs. And I like that she's still drippy. She doesn't need to be drippy, but it's just these extra little details. Adult only. Yeah, no shit. The volume of it all. Man, the way, again, the boob isn't just like a globe. It's got bends and fucking shifts, and it's good shit, man. She's got many tits. Lucky broad. I wish I had 4 tits. I've only got the 2 big ones that I'm growing because I've been putting on weight. Oh, that's not an actual tracing paper. That's an actual tracing paper, but that's printed similarly to that. It's printed with so it's like the thing. That's really cool. He's obviously showing that, yeah, he I think it does say as well. Oh, boobs topics, we like that. I guess this is all notes for the printer to be like colour notes and I assume dot printing or whatever. It's just cool to see. It's one of the things I enjoy in sort of art and design, is tracing paper overlaid on drawings with notes and things attached to the piece, to the art of the. What a lovely painting! What a lovely painting. Really nice skin tones. I like the obvious inspiration from sort of like somewhat vintage, not necessarily porn, but like vintage erotica and stuff, like 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s influence. Because that's a very sort of like, when you look at that sort of era of erotica, of Playboy models or whatever, it's a very distinct look in terms of like the hairstyle, even the shapes of bodies. I guess the way they wore corsets and things, and the shapes of the bras sort of morphed the bodies to look a certain way, differently to how they do things today. And with sort of like tan lines and showing the shape of like bikinis and underwear on the body, and then pubic hair and whatever else. It's a very distinct look to nude imagery from back then. I really, really like this. That's such a good drawing, but it's a good image. It's a good poster. The like heavy outlines are really good. The colours, the lighting, the sort of duotone dot printing, the lighting effects on the sides here, the highlights on like the knuckles, the shape of the arms and the fingers and stuff, all the curves where necessary. Again, the boobs not just being fucking orbs, but sort of moving and shifting when being pushed by the arm. The creases in the hair, the angle on the face is really good, and her expression is good, and that also has like a 70s vibe to like her makeup and such. Even though the rest of it doesn't feel, it feels almost more mid to late 80s, but there's something sort of old school about that, or something. I don't know. Shut up. Fucking whatever. Oh, I like a green girl. I like girls with antennas and different coloured nudes. That might be one of the reasons I like Marge Simpson. It's because something about a female nude that's not coloured typically like a human. So seeing, like, I love turquoise and green lasses, and yellow is a bit different, but it's all right. And although the yellow for me only works in terms of The Simpsons, because outside of that, if I see like skin that's too yellow, it looks like jaundiced or whatever, and it looks sickly and unwell, which is less cool. But you know, if you're into girls that don't look well, then that's totally fine. That's up to you. That's a personal taste thing. That's you. That's what they say, isn't it? Do you? That's cool. The titty tassels, good shapes, good lighting and colouring, like all the tones in her skin, done with the duotone dots in only a couple of colours, red and a sort of yellowy orange and a white for the highlights, and then this blue sort of rim / underlighting. Good line work. I also like that. I don't know how well it shows up on camera, but it looks like it's just like a scan or whatever of the pencil drawing. There's some sort of lines and things here that show it's not like a tidied up, pristine ink drawing, which those are good and all, but I like the texture given from, you know, pencil artifacts or whatever. Well, that's nice, isn't it? As is this. Oh, it's very inspiring stuff. Very inspiring indeed. You can see her hole almost. I also, with these sorts of things, I do wonder, like, how much is drawn from reference and how much is drawn from imagination and how much is drawn from the sort of library of imagery he'd have in his head. Because I'm sure some of these are straight out of his head. I'm sure some of them, I know for a fact, some of his work, I've seen the reference photos used. And so some of them are clearly like almost a straight copy but stylized. So it would be interesting to know what the balance is with certain pieces, but I'm sure it's a complete range where, like I said, just as I was just saying, some of it's very, very referenced, some of it's not. Shut up, fucking shut up. Look at some more tits, you, and how about that? Whoa, that's cool, isn't it? It's like a skeleton in the thing. Those are good drawings of skeletons as well. I'll say again and again, skeletons are a pain in the arse to draw. For me personally, I find them a pain in the arse to draw. They shouldn't be, because they're relatively simple in shape, but it's just when you get down to like the details and textures and stuff, it can just fuck everything up. I like this. This is the sort of thing that, like, I want to steal that idea, but I'd have to make it more like my style. So I'll just put like a goblin head on her or something, and make her, you know, give her like big funny hands and feet to match the goblinness of it all, and then put her on a big Uzi pistol or something, like the ones I normally draw. That's a really gorgeous drawing and a really nice, like, just idea, like lady on a gun. That's cool. Ooh, cities and shit. Ooh, cities and shit. Even more so. Isn't that really, really fucking good? Details and perspective and fucking... That is really, really cool, actually. And I don't even know how much of it shows on there. A bit. There's like giant robot monster fights going on. There's lasses straddling buildings, making them all wet. You're going to get a leak in your roof there. What are you doing? And then there's similar things over here as well. She's got her noodles. And these pages are good. I point that out whenever I see pages like this in art books and things, where you can see there's different types of pens and pencils being used at different sizes. Like some of these drawings are obviously shrunk down, some are blown up, and it's just a collage of sketches from different places all put together. I really like that in art books. I should do some of those myself, shouldn't I? I've done a couple, but nothing sort of to this scale. Maybe I should put in the effort to do more of that or something. I like this a lot. I love the shape, like the way that it's almost exactly half and half, like all the main detail of pieces up here, but then you've got her legs filling out the image, and it's just a really nice, like aesthetically it looks really good, and it's well drawn, it's well shaded, the colours are good. I don't know what the pop de lig is, maybe it's a different language, but yeah, I really like that piece. It's like simple but effective, really effective. The lighting, shadowing, whatever on her bodysuit that just about show like her rib, her belly button, and her tummy and stuff. It's really subtle, and it's done with duotone dots. But I assume it's just printed with the dots. It's probably shaded in with like pencil or something. But the juiciness and the solidness, the voluptuousness, the sumptuousness of the breasts and such he draws. That's cool to see. Nice process. You don't see much of that from Mr. Jellybean. It is cool to see that. Nice paintings and such. That's a really nice one there. This is one of the first ever Rockin' Jellybean pieces I saw. I saw it in a Juxtaposed magazine, like way at the back somewhere in like an Erosti Pop advert or something, and I was like, oh my god, I'm in love. The shapes, the style, everything, antennas. I had no idea who it was, and then later on I found out it was Rockin' Jellybean. I saw more of his art and I was like, oh, that's amazing. And then much later, I randomly, during my internet porn times, happened upon the actual photo this is taken from, and it's almost like I say, almost a one-to-one copy, but it's more stylized. He's like made this thinner, made the boobs more pronounced, added antennas, stylized parts of it here and there. But yeah, it's basically a copy of an existing sort of like old 70s nude photo or whatever. But still to this day, absolutely love that image. If I had a huge version of that, I would put that on my wall, definitely. Oh, they do have that. Well, that's the one I pointed out. As I was going, that's really good. I was like, I hope there's a bigger version of that. And there is. Both, because it's on 2 canvases, if you can see that. That's well nice. Well nice. I mean, I've said before and I'll say again, I don't give a fuck about cars. They don't interest me in the least. Like, not remotely, not the smallest bit have I ever seen like a nice car and been like, oh wow, that's a nice car. I look at it and go, that is car. That's the end of it. So the car elements of this are like whatever. But the nude form, the painting, like painting flesh can be really tricky to like get smooth blends and stuff. And you can see he doesn't even have like perfectly smooth blending here, but it's good. The texture in the socks is really good. That's something that's difficult to get right, because it's like that sort of ribbed wool kind of, so it's going to have like lines, but then to get like the light and dark of that good and looking textured and not just like it's got lines on it, it's difficult to do. That's nice. I like the shininess of it. It can be really difficult to know where to put like the white highlights to get certain parts of the body to look shiny and reflective. She's got no underwear on, and she's got a little squirt coming from somewhere. Jeez. That's really good. The antennas, always with the antennas. I like that. Yeah, this the squishiness of the flesh that he shows. Really good. Well, all right, Ewan, but are you actually going to draw anything? Yes! Yes, I am actually going to draw anything. I've soaked up some inspiration, some wet, juicy, fleshy, titillating inspiration. And now I've found an image of somebody else's artwork to copy. And then now that's what I'm going to do. You know, just like AI. That's what I am. I'm basically an AI image generator. But better because I have a penis. And everyone knows people with penises are the best people. You know, men. Oh, men are the fucking best, aren't they? Yeah, we like men. That's a lie, by the way. I don't have a penis at all. For all of my posturing going on and on about having such a huge black penis, I don't actually have one. I've got penis envy. That's why I talk about it so much. I envy people with penises. Would that I had one, that I could get one someday, but until then, something. I don't know. Shut up. I'm changing it slightly because I want to. I'm also going to give it a big funny goblin head because, like I say, I can't just copy this shit. I've got to make it Ewan. What's more, Ewan? A big fire goblin, big ears and big tits, big goblin tits. It's going to be nude though. I'm removing the clothing. And I like drawing boobs that like cascade down the body rather than like sit on top of it. Like they actually because the rib cage, you know, it's like a barrel chested sort of thing that they say. It's like it has a curve to it. So I like to draw the boob matching the curve and then jutting outwards, because that's what they do. And let's go, you know, rockin' jelly bean style with the puffy nips. I do like some puffy nips. I've known some girls in real life and also through the internet that have had puffy nipples and presumably still do, and they almost always really dislike them because they're stupid. And they say, oh, I hate my nipples, it's too puffy, it's weird. And I tried to tell them to shut their fucking stupid puffy nipple having mouths, because puffy nipples are amazing. You don't know how lucky you are. You don't know what you got. You're walking around with nipples like that. Not that their value comes from, you know, their nipples, but puffy nipples are good, man. Get with it. Dig it. Embrace that shit. In the same way to like where people have, you know, noses with like the noses that go like that. Instead of noses that do that or whatever. So those are good fucking noses. They're amazing. They look amazing. They make you. They stop you from looking like everyone else, like every other fucking cunt on the world. On the world, in the world, of the world. So fucking embrace it and enjoy it. Why do you want to have like a small normal nose like everyone else, like a cunt? Same with nipples. Why would you want the same boring, stupid little nipples as everyone else when you could have giant, inflated, puffy nipples like a god, like some kind of god? Oh, I have to draw the rest of the fucking leg. Goes up here and forever and ever. It's the never-ending leg. Leg eternal. So that's all. I mean, that's something, isn't it? That's the start of a drawing. That might be, excuse me, good. It might be. It might not be. I don't know what I'm doing. just in life in general. Oh, what did you do today, Ewan? Oh, I drew a naked woman, but it was a goblin. It was a funny goblin guy with big tits and a vagina. Oh, it's brilliant. You should have seen it. Should have seen it. I don't know if it's the kind of thing I post on Instagram. I posted a drawing of another titty skull the other day, and got a warning from Instagram saying, "Oh, it could limit your account's reach." And it's like, it's a black and white drawing of a skull with boobs for eyes, and it's like, careful, it's a bit raunchy. Like, fucking, come on, man. I'm getting so like aggravated and apprehensive about posting, you know, the usual kind of stuff I make. And I do try to be like, oh, fuck the man, fuck the rules, fuck the system, post what you want. But, you know, as someone who has had my account deleted, I do have concerns about that, especially, you know, with regards to how I make my living currently. I kind of need my account to stay where it is. And so I get really like, I want to post nude drawings and things, but I do get worried about it. It irritates me, and I'm not happy about it. But of course, it's all fucking meta now, isn't it? It's their policies and their advertising and fucking rest of it. Anyway, less of that for now. Tits are what's important. Sam also gifted me a copy of Disco Elysium, the video game, for my Xbox that he also gifted me, which is what happens. You know, partly it's just because, it's a nice thing to do. I think Ewan will like this. I'll get it for him. But also, I know it has been the case with other games. I can almost guarantee it is the case with this game. It's more he's desperate for me to actually play the fucking thing. I guess so he can like talk to me about it and have discussions and actually enjoy it further. And I have tried it. I played it a little bit last time I was at Sam's house, but I found it a little bit difficult to sort of get into right away. And having played it all the way through to completion at least once now, it really isn't the type of game that is best played at a friend's house. Arcade-ish games are more like that, are more, you know, you can play with a couple of you just sitting there shooting the shit, as it were, and talking whatever snacks and then just playing video games. Whereas something that's like as deep and philosophical as Disco Elysium, and it's also it's fun and funny, but it's not an action game, and there's a lot of dialogue. Like the whole game basically is dialogue. So yeah, it's not really a hang out with your friends and play it kind of game. And so for that, I'm really glad. And it was a complete surprise. I wasn't, he didn't say, "Oh, I'm going to get you this for your birthday." It was there, and now I have it, and I've played it, and I'm incredibly thankful to him. And having played it, it's fucking fantastic. I'm not going to go too much into it. I'm not going to like review the fucking game. You've either played it or you haven't, and if you know it, you know it. If you don't, you don't. But it's pretty fucking spectacular, and it goes along with exactly what I was saying about BoJack Horseman, where if you have media that's made by artists, it shows, and it's, as long as it's done well, because I'm sure there's plenty of stuff that's been made by artists that fucking sucks. But you get all these big game studios churning out the next iteration of the same titles they've been putting out for years. Again, Assassin's Creed, all the Call of Duty games, sports games, all those sorts of things. Just the next one, Assassin's Creed, and whatever. And it really does feel like a studio getting a team together to go, right, it's that time of year, we have to put out the next version of our product to sell so we can make money. The money, it's all very money. Whereas, in terms of television shows, BoJack Horseman, you get artists that have a vision that they've been sort of like building over years and years or decades, and they finally put it into like a thing, a TV show or whatever. And because of like the love and the craft of it all that's gone into it, that shows in the final product. It's immensely better than, Marvel television show number 48 with characters designed by 18 different people to reflect 18 different fucking lifestyles and choices and things. Which is... I'm not going to get into the politics of it all. I'm pro representation. That's what I'm pro cultural representation. I'll say that much. But I'm against Marvel and Disney just because they're awful. But instead, you get artists that make a thing, and it's really, really good. And to my understanding, the main guy behind Disco Elysium had built the world of, I think the world space is called Elysium. I'm not sure on the details of it all, but he wrote a book about like the setting and various characters and stuff involved in it. But apparently it just didn't do very well, like commercially just didn't sell very well. And then from my very limited research and knowledge, as always, somebody, one of his friends or someone said, hey, why don't you try making it into a video game? And he did, and it's really, 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 really good. And he'd obviously, like I say, been building this world through his own sort of stories and stuff for years and years or longer. And then when it came to putting it into a video game, it was very, very effective and very well done. And it's one of those things where like all of its parts come together to make this amazing thing. The story and the writing and the world building is maybe half of it, and then the other half is split into two pieces of the art and the music, which you could say is just the art of it, but I feel they are, they warrant their own sort of credit for it, because it's a beautifully, gorgeously made game. The artwork really, really does well to describe the feel of the environment and the characters and the story, and the interactions and everything. The artwork really complements that, and then that's made even more powerful and gorgeous by the score, the music, of the different points and places, different times of day, different events that happen. Every part of it really, really complements and uplifts the others. And it's like it reminds me in part of like the old Final Fantasies, like Final Fantasy sort of 7, 8, and 9, where because the game Disco Elysium it's like a top-down, almost isometric point-and-click game, like old school sort of games. Click here, your character moves over to there, interact with this object, talk to this person. But the environment, it's like a one image, and the whole map is basically one thing, and then there are different environments like loading screens you go into and out of for buildings and stuff. But it's basically one big painting that you run around on, and the map itself is relatively small. You can go from one end to the other in a couple of minutes, but because of the story and how it's written, it feels a lot more vast than it actually is. But like Final Fantasy VII, it's these still images that your characters run around on, and then it's sort of separated. There'll be like a truck that your character runs behind, or like an overpass that you run under, or whatever. But the fact that it's all the environments, the characters, the portraits, the elements of it are all hand painted digitally, but it's not like digital models that are rendered with lighting and textures and skins and stuff. It's hand digitally painted scenes and people, and it doesn't shy away from that. Like, as I always say, it doesn't try to look like shiny and pristine. There are parts of the environments that look like they've been painted, but you totally believe that it is like snow that a car has driven through or whatever. It's very, very pretty, and there are certain elements where there's like supernatural type things which may or may not be real, but then they are sort of confirmed to be real, and the artwork that sort of shows those effects, the sort of supernatural, almost drug-induced stupor kind of effects, are really, really impressive. And just the vibe of it, of the like the environment and stuff, because it's the setting is like post-war. It's not post-apocalypse, but it's post-war. So there's like bombed out buildings, and there's bullet holes in walls and stuff, and like smashed things. There's a strike going on. It's got a lot to do with. There's a lot of politics involved. There's a lot of like class differences, class warfare, racism, communism, capitalism, war as a grand thing, murder. There's a lot of sort of abuse and substance abuse, alcoholism, drug use, mental unwellness. All of this stuff packed into this tiny little world space, to the point where when I first ever played it, again because of my dumb limited knowledge, I thought it was based on like a real place, like in the past. It's set in like the 50s or something. I thought it was like some European place, because it's so well written and well realised. They're like the place names, the character names, how the characters talk to each other and about each other. I thought it was a real place that they'd like done research on, and maybe fictionalized parts of it for the game. But no, it's all made up. It's a made up world space, it's a made up continent and city and people and places and events. There are elements of reality, and it feels very grounded because of how well written it is. It feels very realistic and very, like I say, grounded. But it's all made up. This pen is really, really good, but I think it does better with slower, more controlled lines than my usual quick sort of scribbly hatching. And I think maybe that's something I not need to work on, but that is something I could work on, focus on that a bit more at some point. For now, I'll just keep drawing a goblin with tits. I don't want to draw a vagina. There's no reason I shouldn't, but I've got this little Homer Simpson, so I'm going to draw a little Homer Simpson head instead. Just because I think it would be funny to put a little Homer Simpson head here. But yeah, Disco Elysium is really good. I mean, that's my hot take. There's a lot more I could say about it, but like I said, I didn't intend to sit here and review fucking Disco Elysium. Although one funny thing was, like I say, there's a lot of politics in it, and it almost calls you out on certain choices you make. I believe the creators are very left-leaning, which is good. Non-sarcastically, that is good. that's what we like to see. But Sam was telling me how there's a bunch of like reviews of the game where certain types of people have played it and made what they assumed were like decent, sensible, obvious choices in terms of decisions you make in the game and how you sort of interact with the characters in the world. And then the game calls them out as being a racist. Sometimes literally, where if you talk to certain people, agree with certain opinions and options, and then you go down a certain path, you talk to this other character and they say, oh hey, I hear you're a big racist now. And so there are people who have played it and gotten mad that the game called them a racist, while they were going, well, I was just making sensible choices, sensible decisions based on the options I was given. And it's like, oh, no, you're clearly just a racist person, and the game reflects that, which is cool, because there are points in the game where you can like try to rebuild communism, because there's a strike going on, there's unions, and there's union busters and strike breakers and scabs. And you don't have to, but you can sort of interact with that aspect of the game. You can rebuild communism, which, go ahead. Or you can side with the scabs and the supremacists and their ideologies and their racist ideals. And the game will let you know that, it doesn't say you have done this and you are a bad person. But it just says, oh, you're a racist. Okay, that's part of the game, that you are a racist, which I think is funny. And I mean, like I say, it's very dialogue heavy, but the choices you make on how you start to build your character, who is a sort of a pre-made character, but you decide how the character interacts with the world, which is a sort of an important part of a role-playing game, rather than like a Skyrim or a Fallout, which purport to be role-playing games, but they're really not. They're action, fantasy, adventure games, I guess. But even small changes to your character's like stats and choices and decisions can change the options for you in the game so vastly, and that to write that many different options and avenues to go down in the game is insane. Like the amount of work that's gone into building the world and the environment and everything is just ridiculous. And again, it really shines through with, like I say, if when artists make stuff and it's good, like Disco Elysium, you look up critic scores and ratings for it, and they're all just through the roof, saying it's one of the best games ever made and this and that. And it's like, well, yeah, that's but it's one of those things where the creators may have like gotten lucky. Yeah, I guess it's what they call lightning in a bottle, where I don't believe they set out to make one of the best games ever made. They just wanted to make a game, and it happened to be really, really well received. If they tried to make the best game, it probably would have, not turned out that way. There'd be something about it that felt, I don't know, less genuine or whatever. And so that comes through, all they were doing is trying to make a cool game that they like, I guess. Again, I don't know, but it shows that they weren't trying to just rake in the profits or whatever. Something. It's very, very good. I enjoy it. I'm not going to just sit here and review the game, he says, before sitting here and reviewing the game. I'm not sure. I'm not even going to say like recommend it. Oh, you should play it. It's the best game ever. Like, it's very involved, and you have to you've got to really give it time, and you've got to be in the mood for it. I think it's worth getting involved with it, and if you're into those sorts of games, then go ahead. But again, I don't think people watch anything I do for my video game recommendations. So I'm just saying, that's all I've got to talk about is things going on in my dumb, tiny little life, and that's one of them for now. So that this is a really nice pen. I think to draw with it effectively would take a little bit more practice, because I'm sort of approaching it as I would any regular ballpoint pen. But like I say, the nib doesn't feel quite the ballpoint that I'm used to. So I think it's worth giving it a bit more care, which isn't typically how I like to approach my drawings or anything else in my life. But we like tits, don't we, eh? Oh, we like goblins with tits. Big puffy nipples on some big juicy tits. Fucking grab them and put them in your mouth and fucking suck on them.